In Hitman's wife's Bodyguard, Ryan Reynolds' character, bodyguard Michael Bryce, must once again team up with Hitman Darium Kincaid, played by Samuel Jackson, and his wife, played by Salma Hayek, all to stop a madman played by Antonio Banderas from launching a terror attack on Europe. We have tonight some more insight into the movie featuring cast and crew. Here's the story.
You're gonna tell us everything you know.
I'm not telling you.
I, on the other hand, will tell you everything.
We've got a lot of stunts in this. I mean, because you're in a situation where Ryan Reynolds is playing Michael Bryce, who's the suffering fool. Okay, and from the day I started to sit down and think about how would I turn this in, how would I make this sequel, is I immediately felt like, well, like in the first film, he just if he's the suffering fool, then on the sequel I'm going to take him through the ringer. If the first film put him in therapy, this film's going to put him in hospital, right? So I want him to be hit by a car. I want him to be run over by a boat. I want him to be punched in the face. I want him to be shot. I want him to be stabbed. You know, I want him to be burnt. I want him to drown. So it's just like there's just this suffering pain that he goes through. And that was the funniest part of putting these stunts together. It's like, how much can we take the sexiest man alive and his face up? You know, and so by the end of the film, and that was like the funniest thing when we were putting it together in the edit, was you take Ryan Reynolds, who's just gorgeous looking and chiseled jaw, and he's got all this, you know, and we introduce his character, and he's in a suit, and he's at this beautiful event, and he's just killing it in life, crushing it. But by the end of the film, his face is all, and he's been shot and stabbed, and his suit's ratty, and he hasn't slept in 3 days, and you barely recognise that it's Ryan Reynolds.
He has had a tremendous year. Michael Bryce is the bodyguard of the year.
Woo!
Is he a relative of yours?
God, no. Darius Kincaid's a hitman wanted for like a zillion murders around the world.
And how often do you have this dream?
Just once.
Well, that's not
A night.
right. I'm thinking you need to forget bodyguarding.
I just thought there was an interesting angle of this guy who's like taken a sabbatical from any and all violence, like will not touch a gun, will only carry pepper spray. And there's something great about, you know, being in this kind of high octane action film where Sam's character is an assassin, so naturally he is carrying weapons and guns all the time, has no problem with it, you know, is just totally integrated into his personality, but my character's kind of at odds with it also. So I really enjoyed that aspect or that element of the movie, and you know, it's something I've been able to do in a few sort of larger scale action films lately. Is that, you know, necessity is the mother of invention. So if you take away this idea that we step up to the plate in all sort of action sequences using guns as, you know, tools of violence, and instead we have to think outside the box and say, okay, like if you're going to do a big fight sequence and you're not going to use guns, what do? You know, and it stretches everybody. It makes everybody better. It makes me better, you know, so I love that.
I'm officially on sabbatical, and to be honest, I don't know why I didn't do this sooner. As if the world's been waiting for me to make this change. For the first time, I'm starting to imagine a life without bodyguarding. This really feels like a new beginning.
I think there's a lot more comedy in this one than the last one. A lot more. But I think what really worked about the last one is the relationship between these two actors. I don't know that there's two other actors that can do action comedy better than these two. And it's just such a great chemistry, you know, the alchemy between them. And I feel really privileged that I got thrown in the middle. And I think that it takes their relationship to a new level. So if you didn't see the last one, it doesn't matter. The film stands on its own. But if you saw the last one, then it's more about how this relationship evolves. And it's not just the action, but it's really about the relationship.
Don't I know you?
The mafia took my husband.
Kill them.
We have to go get him.
No. I'm not getting involved in this. I'm under strict psychological orders.
Sam Jackson, I've known for almost 40 years. We worked together in New York back when he was a kid, I was a little older. And we hadn't worked together since, and I like Sam a lot. I didn't know Ryan except through his work. But that's as good a come on as you can get.
I promised my therapist no bodyguard. That means no guns, no killing, and no blood.
What is he doing here? Are you using pepper spray?
I'm on sabbatical.
They genuinely connected with the characters the last time they saw it. And like I said, they wanted to see more of Selma. This time they will. And the connection between Ryan and I, only gets better because, the more time we spend together, the more we know about each other, the more we hate each other in a way that, makes sense. And hopefully people will come in and buy into that again.
How many times have you nearly got me killed?
Not enough.
We're trying to have a baby.
What the